When really bad, scary, and traumatic things happen, you often hear people say, I was so grateful for the experience. And it sounds kind of cliche to say that. However, I am so genuinely grateful for the experience that I had of Lyme disease. Would I have rather not gone through extreme pain, excruciating experiences, and traumas and mental things that I went through over the years? Yeah, it was hard. It was devastating and it was very, very scary. I also would not be where I am now, and I would not be doing the things that I am doing now, and I would not have the outlook on life, and I wouldn't have the mission that I have in life that I have now if I didn't go through that stuff. And I am genuinely grateful for the literal countless things that happened that I discovered, that I learned through having Lyme disease. I've thought of this before, and I could just keep doing gratitude, where you just sit there and think of all the things you're grateful. I've literally thought of the things that I'm grateful for having um, experienced chronic illness for so many years, and I just was able to keep going and keep going and keep going on the things that kept coming up. And the things that I have learned from having a chronic illness experience for over a decade have been crazy and intense. I have learned to advocate for myself. I have learned to find my voice and to speak up for what it is that I need and for the things that are on my mind and for um, other people and what as a society we are lacking. I've learned to do research and to find out the facts behind what like WebMD are just saying, or big companies and Kaiser and things like that are just putting things out there. I've learned to look deeper than that and not just see what pharmaceutical companies are putting out there. I've learned what pharmaceutical companies are actually doing and how they are ruling the modern medicine in most Western countries. I've learned what herbal medicine is capable of and how herbal medicine was used since the beginning of humanity to treat things and just as nourishment so that people didn't get sick, so that people didn't have health issues, and how we fell away from that. And only like 150 years ago or less, we started using pharmaceuticals, and that was just something that I and most generations of people nowadays, if you have TV and magazines, are going to be brainwashed with the idea of that is the only way to heal. And of course, people need pharmaceuticals for certain conditions, but it isn't the only way to heal. And I learned about our food industry and how food industry is perpetuating this need for pharmaceuticals, and how it's just a cyclical thing where you eat this food that causes illness and American diseases, and then you use pharmaceuticals to treat those American diseases, and it's just a cycle. Um, I've learned to listen to my body and to get in tune with my body is telling me, with how I react and respond to my environment, with how I react and respond to the people in the environment, with animals, with the foods that I consume, with the products that are around me, the products that I'm ingesting and putting on my body and inhaling. I mean, everything in our environment I have become in tune with. I have looked into all worldly industries and how they are contributing to everything that is causing illness, and how everything is tied together. There is no separation between any kind of industry in the world and the illnesses that we experience today as a whole. Um, I've looked into very specific parts of the body and how they work, and I've read books that I wouldn't think I've read. I've learned about mindset. I've learned about brain retraining. I've learned about how the brain works. I've learned about psychology, sociology, anthropology. I found that I have extreme interest in all those areas, and I love history and have dived into how all these things have come to be. And it's become a real focus of mine of tying all this stuff together and figuring out how we got from living in a natural environment to living in what we live in today, and how we're so separate from each other and from our bodies and from our minds and from our souls, and how we are just operating almost mechanically in this world today through screens mostly. As we're doing right now. um, it's just become extremely fascinating for me. I've learned to see, hear, feel, taste, smell things through a non three dimensional state. I was receiving energy work from multiple different people, and through the years have learned that I myself can facilitate in helping other people with energy healing, and loving helping other people in their own health journeys with energy work and wellness counseling using Ayurvedic principles, sharing the pieces of information that I've learned as I do with my videos here, and putting all that stuff together to just have people realize that they have so much control over their healing. And this goes to the life mission part of it, is that I really feel like everything that I've learned through this, there is a reason why I have been so focused and intent on learning everything that I have, and why I watched hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of documentaries and mystery diagnosis, and just got into all the things that I became interested in suddenly. I really believe that that is the reason why I got sick, and why I have had this awakening into what this world is actually doing, and not just being a product of it anymore, and not just being the factory worker that, goes to school and learns to do a certain job and then just works, like, runs through that job and has a family, and just goes through the process of this cyclical lifestyle of the American dream. And there's nothing wrong with if you have that kind of stuff. First of all, I just want to be clear with that. Like, that doesn't mean that everybody who has that is in that cycle of it. It just, I mean, people have had families and jobs and everything forever. It's the way that our school systems are developed to put us into jobs that are just like a grind, which leads to so many mental health and physical health problems. So I've just learned to open my mind, to look at things as a whole, to look at my body and mind and spirit as a whole, to look at everybody's in this world as one whole. We're one giant system in this world that works together, and we're all connected. And I never thought of any of that stuff growing up. I never paid attention to anything that was involved with any of that as a kid. I went to school, I did sports, I had some activities and hobbies, I hung out with my friends, I went to the movies, I ate fast food, I watched TV, and it was just normal childhood of stuff, that American modern culture that we do. And I'm just looking back and reflecting on all that, and how if I would have continued in the path I was on, I would have went into marketing and advertising, and been a part of that whole cycle of everything that is marketed to us that I don't believe in anymore. So that I don't believe in as being a healthy wholeness for us is something that nourishes us in mind, body, and soul and helps us connect with ourselves and others. I believe that a lot of marketing and what is out there in the world nowadays is pulling ourselves away from each other and pulling ourselves away from ourselves. Um, so I am extremely grateful for everything that I've learned, and am just like in this pattern of learning like crazy right now and just continuing this, and putting this information together so that I can do some projects with it, which I have in the works right now. And I am really, really excited for what I'm developing and for what is coming, and for any way that I can help other people through their own healing journeys into wellness. So if you like this video, please give it a like. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you have any video suggestions, please also comment that below. And I will see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.